Welcome, everybody. This is Jan Stringer, and here's the masterclass number 3. And we were going to cover, well, we've just got so much material to cover around networking that we worked on last week, and how to really describe and say something about your product package that elicits interest in it. And today we're going to focus on marketing and your questions and get your answers. So, one of the things about marketing, I think we mentioned this last time, that is in the Attracting Perfect Customer book, is that my simple definition is the building of relationships. And so, marketing isn't something you have to be fearful of. It's really just something that you already innately do. And once you learn my method of marketing, it becomes a little bit easier. So, speaking of marketing, well, I'm trying to move my picture so we can see there. I get smaller. Thank you for persisting. So today what we're going to cover is who, what, why, and when. And that's all you need to know about marketing. Everything you need to know is in those 4 words.
Oh, cool.
So
what, why, and when.
Yeah. Who, what, why, and when. Simple, huh? And I'm giving you the tools to do that. So the who is your strategic attraction plan. On your strategic attraction plan that we covered in the SACAT, we ask pertinent questions that allow us to start to visualize who our perfect customers are for our products. So, for example, step number 1 of the attraction plan, as you know, is to describe them. What are their qualities, their characteristics, their attributes, and to really get familiar with what's important to yourself so that you can draw more of that to you, such as the bee on a flower. If you think about bees are attracted to a flower, how do they know? How did they know there was going to be a flower in that vicinity? Bees can travel long distances to find the honey, and your clients are the same way. And so I recommend pulling out your notes for the who part to really get into the 4 or 5 points in the strategic attraction plan that will help you identify who you want to attract. Look at these beautiful people. And then the what is your strategic marketing plan. So if you notice, I used a lot of strategic words. Your marketing plan is the what. It's what is the perfect way to deliver your message about your product. Like in this case, what would you say is the medium of advertising? Anybody?
My t-shirts.
Your t-shirts. That's right. A t-shirt can be great advertising.
Yeah.
Then this is where we're going to spend most of our time today is what is the problem? Let me move my picture here. What is the problem that your product is the solution to? That's the why. Why people are drawn to you is that they have anybody? Why are people? They have a problem. That's right. It's right there in front of you. They have a problem. And guess whose product is a solution to their problem? Mine is. And so we're going to focus on that today, because once you start to think in the way that your clientele thinks, then you can learn how to market to the problem or the issue that they're concerned about. And so that's this is kind of a mind bend to wrap around your mind around, but that's what we're going to focus on today. And then nothing happens without strategic action plan. That's the when. When am I going to take actions on my marketing strategy? So we'll talk about that today as well. So as I told you, way more than we can cover in an hour. So I'm going to put the screen share down for a minute and give you a chance to just connect with one another and see who has a win that is pertaining to the masterclass, that something that you're very excited about, that between last week when we met and this week, something has become clear for you about your products or your services or where you're headed. So who would like to share first?
Well, I'll go first. A quick thing. Last week, I was confused. I had a conversation with Jan, and now it seems like I'm putting the T-shirts on hold. Not on hold, but something happened where the T-shirts weren't going to make money, and I got into a hole about that. And so what I came up with, is to be numerology, not a coach, but just to do sessions with people. I don't know how it's going to work. I'll have to talk it over, talk to Jen. So I've shifted, which is I'm still not happy about, because I can't see myself doing that it's fulfilling, but not as much as other things I'm doing. Anyway, but I do have a quick story about the lighthouse. I went to a landmark event. I was doing a meditation in the car before I went upstairs, and I had this feeling that I had to get upstairs. I needed to get upstairs because there was going to be a connection that I needed to see or be a part of. So I got upstairs, and I'm running around Landmark kind of looking for this, and then I stopped cold, and I went, oh my God, I'm not being the lighthouse. I sat down in the chairs. There's 2 chairs in a certain section. I sat down. It wasn't 3 minutes. Someone walked up to me, sat down. We started to talk, and he's involved in the same thing, helping veterans, as Lee was talking to this. He was interviewing someone who helps veterans. I put the 2 together, and I made a connection, and you know what that feels like. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. So that's going in my comic strip, which I'm actually working on, because that's where my juice is my comic strip, and I'm going to be working on a blog. So here I am in this whole territory of I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm just going to let it go and let him take over. And with my coaching and all that stuff, I'm feeling almost good about it. I'm done. But it was that connection that just like, I just couldn't believe it. I almost shot out of the car to get upstairs. So that worked.
Well, I think that when we set an intention, like you tuned in, you were being awake and aware that there was somebody you were going to connect with at Landmark.
Yeah.
And so it was, in essence, you were setting an intention for connecting with somebody. And so you were awake and aware to who you wanted, that was going to happen, and you were open to receive it. So, and
it was amazing.
You presence the lighthouse for yourself. I gotta be me. I gotta be the lighthouse and let the light shine, and then they will come to me. So that's what I heard.
It was amazing. That's what happened. I was actually dragged out of my car. Get upstairs.
Great.
So you're.
Yeah. So I'll share next. So,
okay.
As Ava said, I was there to actually shoot a video about a young man who is selling programs for real estate agents to help them. He sells them a website and a whole marketing program. And it's all over the phone. But his main thing is what he's looking to do is really work with veterans to help them move forward in their lives after being in the service. So I shot the video with him, and then he shot a video with me where he gave me all kinds of accolades and everything else. You can actually most likely see that. I think it's on my page for the Global Herald Times Facebook page. And I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on my personal page as well, but I haven't done that yet. And then I was just totally blown away, and I really got clear that who a lot of people perceive me as is someone who is there for them, able to see where they need to make a move in their life and really coach them through taking a shift in their thinking. So it's
I'm a shift of thinking.
taking out the trash, guys. They're taking out their trash.
That was the best thing. That was so funny.
So you're being your product. That's
yes,
what I hear.
I am my product.
You are your product.
It's pretty amazing to watch after 33 years of him struggling that he's actually actualizing it. It's like, whoa. Amazing.
Time wasn't right.
Time wasn't right.
Yes.
People weren't ready to receive.
Yeah.
But there's so many
the
people out there
stars
who
and the
have
moon align. There's a lot of ways we could say it. So I know the feeling. I know the feeling. That's great.
Yeah, there's so many people who have done transformational work, and they have received all this information, but they haven't got the emotional contact with it. So they're not able to actually apply what they've received.
Right.
So in Landmark, you've been through Landmark, Jan. I don't know, and you see people coming back and again and again and again and again, and they're not really going anywhere.
I know.
So, but all that, the tools that they were given, the distinctions and everything, would really move them forward, but they're emotionally blocked to even actually getting that. So my job is to clear that away.
Take the trash out.
Take the trash out. Yeah, I agree with you. I saw that a lot at Landmark in particular. That was one of my observations as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to arrange my coaching call with you, Mike.
Yes. Do so.
After this call.
Okay. All right, Curie or Anne, would you like to share?
So mine is, my name is Carrie Bell, and my tick, and what makes me tick is creating clarity in all situations.
Love it. I do love that. Carrie Bell.
And when somebody asks me what I do,
just a little coaching.
I say,
wait, a little coaching.
Sure.
Okay. Everybody, give him your attention. I know I was writing when you said it. I really want to get it, let it in. Where'd Lee go? Everybody's multitasking. Lee, where are you?
I went to blow my nose.
He went to blow his nose.
TMI. All right, so Ava, Ann, and I are going to receive, and now Nancy. All right, look into the camera and tell us again what makes you tick.
My eyes.
Wait till Lee sits down. We want to all be with you. All right, we're receiving.
He's down.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Carrie Bell, and what makes me tick is creating clarity in all situations.
Oh, congratulations.
All right.
All right.
And when somebody asks me what I do, I assist people in creating clarity in all situations. And how do I do it? By putting you in touch with your top 5 passions, then creating a strategic attraction plan to implement living those passions.
Sweet. Nicely spoken.
Clear and concise. Clear as a bell.
And then what?
Get that?
Love that.
Ding.
And depending...
No pun intended, huh?
No, there
pun
was.
intended.
No, that's
pun intended.
That's my byline. Pun is intended. That's my byline.
Right.
Be clear as a bell.
That's so wonderful. Oh my God.
And then what I maybe whether I get a response or not from how do you do that, I might just simply say, is there something in your life you'd like to change?
Oh,
and if they say no, I go to the next conversation. If
I
they
said,
say
"That's
yes, I
great.
say, ask,
Next."
tell me more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous. It's hot. It's hot. It's so clear. I love it. It's got to be clear because your tick is about clarity.
does.
So, yay. So, other than that,
Just to
Mrs. Lincoln, how was the
make
play?
a comment, I think we're all about clarity.
I'd agree.
Yeah, that's true.
We got to be lighthouses. Can't let our light out if our windows are foggy.
It kind of reminds me of something that we're all lighthouses, is that when I was forced to go to Sunday school, the rabbi said we should all be lamp-lighters and leave a little light wherever we go. So now I'm a lighthouse. I'm more than a lamplighter. Shining my light everywhere.
Right. Yes,
Dr. Morgulin told us that our job is to be the sunshine in the room wherever we go.
That's a good, that's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
Annie, you were going to say something?
Well, at some point.
Well, I said the strategic attraction planning is all about clarity. So, of course, we're all about clarity.
Of course.
Yeah. But changing it from words into clarity is the trick. So.
Oh, don't I know it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, Nancy.
Good job. Good job, Carrie.
Would you like
Thank
to
you.
share something, Nancy? And yes, Carrie, let's give him
Yes,
this
I wanted to share today that I have been feeling a little off my path, and I sat down and wrote, and I really credit Jan with encouraging me to write in the morning. And so my thoughts started one way, and next thing you know, I was thinking about Alan and his what makes me tick is connection, connection, connection. And what I had been thinking about prior to that, and I've been thinking about all week, is the understanding. Hi, Alan. And I'm hoping he can hear this, because I was understanding that there are two ways to approach a problem. You can either approach it from a fear side, or you can approach it from a source energy side. And it sounds simplistic. It's very difficult, as I realize, because both sides can get you through. And however, the fear side will give you limited results, and actually they will give you the results that you expect. Whereas the other side, which is the more powerful side to come from, is a side that really brings things that are better than you could ever have imagined.
Wow.
And so as I began to think about that and write about that, I said, oh my heavens, connection, connection, connection. And I thought, it is not insignificant that Alan repeated that 3 times, not to repeat. I suddenly realized, or thought in my spirit, I felt, it was not to repeat it 3 times, it was 3 connections.
Yes.
Connection to source, energy divine, connection to oneself, and then connection to others.
Yes.
And so, okay, isn't that interesting so I wrote that and thought, wow. And so I have, for my entire working life, really, well, I shouldn't say it, for my entire working life, I have worked, I would say 90% from the fear side. And I've been able to push through. And then 2 weeks ago, I heard a wonderful sermon about walking through the valley of the shadow of death. It said, you don't want to pitch a tent there, you want to walk through it. And that saying is not just for people who have died. It's about all of us. We go through this all the time almost with everything that we do.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I don't want to pitch a tent. I want to walk through, but I want to walk through from a side that is not filled with fear. I really want to walk through with a side that's full of hope. Yeah. And so I'm finally feeling that I can, I now know how to focus on the other side.
Yeah.
Not that I can do it yet, but at least I'm aware that it exists. And it makes me happy, and I'm so grateful to Alan.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
He must have been
So
talking
Nancy,
to
so
you.
Nancy, that
I was just going to
so
say.
with that concept of
Go ahead,
sorry,
Carrie.
with that concept of clarity,
Yes.
you're walking through the shadow of death with the source on your side,
Right.
Yes.
not the fear side.
Yes, and that's why they say, we don't just because we try to, well, my understanding, just because we then become conscious and aware and that we want to work from the other side doesn't mean that the fear doesn't come up every single second sometimes.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
it's knowing how to go over it, around it, above it, below it, whatever it takes to get beyond it. We
Right.
don't have to let fear guide the outcome.
Right.
Yeah. Well, fear is there, but you're doing it with the source on your side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the first step, is you have to recognize that and have that clarity before you can go to the second step, where you can be able to basically recognize the fear and put it aside so that you walk with source.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And also, I was thinking about the lighthouse again, that the lighthouse really is, in order for our light to shine, the metaphor is to connect with source. And then our light shines brighter through self, which allows us to connect to others. Lighthouse stories.
Yes.
And Rachel is here. Welcome.
Hi, Rachel.
So I just like to share something quickly with Carrie, because he says this all the time. You have to. And in NLP, you don't have to anything, because it triggers something from when you were a child, when your parents said, you have to, So you want to say something else, like Jan says, allow yourself to grasp this, let it be in your body and feel that you are allowing this to occur. So I invite you to not use have to when you speak to people. Because you have lots of good insights, but when I have to, man, boom,
is that the
triggers
problem?
me.
Is that the problem?
Yeah, I think it is better languaging.
Well,
I agree.
it's better languaging, and it also gives you the sense of finding clarity in your own reaction to things.
Well, one of the things,
there you go.
as leaders, one of the things as leaders and teachers that we're all constantly working towards is how to elicit the best response in others. So choosing words that all people can hear is part of our responsibilities as teachers and leaders and mentors. And so it's a practice. It's a practice. And we can support each other. So I felt like Lee was supporting Curie, not in a critical way, but in a supportive way. And that's a great practice for all of us, to practice ways that elicit response.
Then,
I learned that as a mother.
I'll share something
to get my daughter to do what I wanted her to do.
You'll have to write a book about that so we can learn.
Yeah. Because things like when you, on your little notice this morning, Jan, it said, don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
The mind gets it as forget.
I thought of that when I put that on there. I did. I actually thought about that.
Remember.
And I did it anyway. Yeah. Yes.
It's automatic.
I knew it.
I'm working.
And I did it anyway. So good point.
I'm working extremely hard on speaking in without using the word trying.
Yes.
I'm in action. I'm doing this.
Right.
I'm moving forward. No, I'm not going to try anything.
Right.
Yeah. Well, those are the phrases of the universe doesn't recognize the don't,
Right.
and don't try. Try to pick up a pen. No,
not
you
happening.
either do it or you don't. You don't try to pick up the pen. So.
Right.
All right. So,
Yep,
anybody else have a share before we move on?
I do. This is really important.
Ava has a share.
This is really important. I need your energy at 1 o'clock our time. Lee and I are going for a haircut with someone we know from Landmark, and she happens to be working with the fellow who I met 2 years ago that we fell in love with each other. We're going to his salon, and he's the one that could assist me in doing the runway event for my t-shirts, and I've been too afraid to call him, and now I'm going to be in his shop. So please hold the vision that we reconnect, that he remembers who I am, because I remember most people, but some people don't remember me, which I can't figure out why that would happen. It's not like I'm
too bad for them.
Mouse. Yeah.
All right.
Unforgettable. That should be.
All right.
No,
I have
please,
we hold you and see you. So you're getting your hair restyled?
Yes, I'm getting a haircut.
He's getting his hair restyled. This girl wants to give me a new look, but this is my brand, so there's going to be some discussion. But he owns the shop.
Go for the new look. Go for the new look.
But then yeah, I can always draw this. Okay. So he's a designer. He knows designers from Europe. He just got back from New York with the fashion. He knows everybody in fashion. God put this guy in front of me to do this, and I am like, so I'm just turning it over like I'm supposed to anyhow.
Okay.
So 1 o'clock.
Let's get into the material for our call today.
Okay.
I'm going to put our little
Thank you.
happy PowerPoint up here. All right. So this is what we're covering. We're talking about marketing today, and just a quick who, what, why, and when. So the who is your SAP, your strategic attraction plan. Your strategic marketing plan is the what is your perfect way to deliver your message. And then the why, the why is why people come to you for your product. And this is where I want to focus. I'll come back to that in just a second. And then the when. Nothing happens without an action plan. So those are the marketing pieces I want to talk about today. If we get time, if not, we'll squeeze it into our next call. But I'm going to give you some home play, and it's going to include the who, what, when, and why. All right. I won't give you the home play now, but I just want to let you know we have 2 more classes. And the next class is on closing sales. And that's on the 26th of October. So let's go back to, I want everybody to write this down just as it says. What is the problem that my product is the solution to? So write that down, and I will do the same. At the top of a piece of paper, what is the problem that my product is the solution to? And that is the why people come to you. So everybody got that down?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go back to our screen, our videos. So I want to talk about the problem that you're the solution to. Think about, one way I like to think about it is if somebody had a problem and they were going to research it on the internet, and they go to open up a Google or a browser, and they don't type in Jan's 5 and 5 program, they type in not enough customers. Where are my clients? How to sell. Those are some of the problems that my product is the solution for. Maybe in that long time, far away time when you decided to do a program with me, there was a problem that I was the solution for. Does anybody even remember what they were thinking back in those days?
Nope.
Who knows?
We just wanted to hang out with you guys.
Nancy? I think Nancy has one. Okay.
Yeah, well, I wanted more business, and I wanted to know how to attract clients.
There. You wanted more business. All right. Anybody else?
I seem to think I wanted clarity, and I still want clarity.
Still want that clarity. We always want clarity, yes.
I still do.
There was something in terms of having become a passion test facilitator that I knew I needed more. And I don't know whether it was somehow getting an email that put me into the strategic attraction and action. I don't remember if I talked with Alan before that first call or after. I guess it was probably after. So there was something that brought that to my attention that resonated, as Nancy said, in building my business in that way.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. So, yes, Lee. Lee Howard.
So one of the things, yes, one of the things that I'm getting now, because I'm in a program called SELP with Landmark, which stands for Self-Expression and Leadership, is that I'm giving up selling anything. I'm enrolling people. And it has a whole different way of beingness. When you're selling, you're looking to get people to do things. When you're enrolling, you're allowing them to take it away from you. So I'm going to be enrolling people in what I'm up to rather than trying to sell it to them. And literally trying to sell it because it's not working selling. And I've been in sales all my life, and I've been shoving cars down people's throats and things like that.
All right, well, let's take that. Let's take this example. Let's take this example of enrolling versus selling. What is the problem that enrollment is the solution for? Everybody just write down something. What is the problem that enrollment is the solution for?
Wow, why can't I answer that?
The reason you can't answer it is that we are solution-oriented people. We want to give you the answer. Right. We want to give you the solution. We're know-it-alls. We have all the solutions you could ever want. But people don't come to you because they're of your solution. They come to you because they have a issue or a problem or a situation that they are trying to deal with, all different ways of saying a problem, and they are coming to you for that reason. So who's got an answer for what is the solution that what is the problem that enrollment is the solution for?
Wow. It's having people choose to do my programs. It allows them choice rather than feeling pressure of being sold something.
Okay, good. But that's not their problem. That's not their problem.
No, that's not their problem.
Okay, what is their problem? Does anybody know what the problem is that enrollment is a solution for?
They haven't got clarity.
They don't like
So
their
one-
life.
They don't have clarity.
So
What else don't they have?
The
They
answer
don't know
is
what they don't know what to do.
they don't
they
know
don't-
what to do.
They don't know what to
Right.
do. Nancy?
There's-
They don't. For me, they don't know how to write their about page. They don't know what to include in it.
Right. They don't know how to write their
So
about
they-
page.
So
don't
they
know how to
they
take-
don't know ...
Right.
They
Thank you.
don't know that they
They
don't know
don't-
that they don't know. No,
That's
that
right.
they don't know that what
They
they
don't
need to know.
What I would
Exactly.
my definition of enrollment, by the way, is to presence people to a possibility. When I enroll people into a program, I give them a possibility that they didn't have otherwise. So what I would say that enrollment, the problem that people are having that enrollment is a solution for, is they lack possibility. And it
my
ties
favorite
in,
word.
they don't have, they lack something. They lack inspiration in their life. They don't have a picture of the future. They're up against the wall and where to go next. All kind of different ways of saying that they lack possibility. And then enrollment is a solution that would help them to start to see a new possibility. So now apply that
That's
to
perfect
your
for me.
products. So use that as we wrote it down. What is the problem that my product is a solution for? And just pick one of your products. So Nancy, say yours again, because you used yours as an example, I think.
Good.
Well, my perfect customer's problem is that they don't know how to write a website about page. They don't know what to say about themselves, and they don't know how to speak about themselves in a way that feels authentic and enrolling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they lack possibility about their own self. It's another way to say that. Everybody else can see it about us, but when we sit down at the piece of paper to write down about myself, I'm like, ugh. Right?
Been there,
So-
done that. Mhm.
So I have an example of how this has played out, and the trick is how to have something to present, and basically there's a friend that my wife and I know, and it's like we're sitting in a car talking, and my wife is having the conversation with her, and she's expressing her complaint. At which point, I end up coming in and saying, okay, I can, and basically in that conversation that got started, I can come in with, showing her a possibility that she says, okay, yes, I want to sit down and have some sessions with me.
Right. Okay, good. So
And,
let's work together on this. Let's work together on this for a second. Just to make it real clear. So your product is what? Coaching?
The product is going through an attraction plan.
Okay.
Is
So your
the product is
attraction plan.
is the personal, right? It's the personal development program, or I've forgotten what.
Do you call yourself
life transformation package?
Well, I see that the SAP is a solution. It's a tool, but
Right.
You're a coach, and it's
the tool. It's basically it's the personal development. The package was the life transformation package, or personal life package is what we called it.
Okay, so what are the problems that somebody would want a personal life package? So
it could be
they're complaining about their life.
There could be any. Right, there could be any kind of complaint.
Complaining.
So it's how to engage. So I'm stepping back from that conversation that once it already took place, and that person starts with the complaint. It's coming to the step before that, as to how would I write this up that I would put it into Facebook or LinkedIn.
I know, I'm trying to help you with, and your mind is way over in another ballpark right now.
Okay, all right.
So stay with me, because this is why you don't know how to market your product. Then this is true for everyone. All of us want to come up with how we're going to do it, what the tool is we're going to use it for. This is a very difficult exercise because the mind doesn't want to think this way. Okay? So you got to stay with me. Your product, whatever you want to call it, an SAP coach or life coaching, clarity coaching, whatever you want to call it, I'll just call it a coaching product. Okay? And then that'll be applicable to everybody. The problem that people are having that would be a solution for is, one, we identify the problem. They're complaining about something, right? So everybody write that down.
Right. Yep.
That's one problem they could be having. They're complaining about something.
Okay.
Another problem they could be having is what we identified just a minute ago, not enough of something, right? That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough money, not enough clients. What else? Not enough time. These are all things that people are complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
What's another problem that a coaching product could be a solution for? Come on, life coach.
Personal development.
Okay, if someone needs personal development, what is the problem they're having?
They're not in a relationship.
They're socially awkward.
Yeah,
they're
socially awkward.
Uncomfortable in social settings.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who they are.
They don't know who they are. They don't know who they are.
Not fulfilled in what they do.
Not fulfilled. Their relationships are poor or bad or unpleasant. Okay. It could be that they're, let's see, they're isolated. A lot of time entrepreneurs are feeling alone. They work out of their house. They are missing how to connect with people.
They don't know why they're here.
That's what numerology does. I can let you know why you're here.
They don't know that.
That's what
they want to know. Does my life has a purpose? Yes.
I was going to say that not knowing why we're here, that's even too vague.
Yes.
Versus feeling isolated because they're working from home is so specific, and that to me is enrolling.
Yes. That hits the button, doesn't it?
Or feeling isolated because they don't have any friends.
Well, one of the problems that when I do executive coaching inside of corporations and I'm talking to a CEO or president, I can hit them right between the eyes with this one, and every one of them will agree that it's lonely at the top. When you work inside of a large corporation, there is no one for them to talk to. They've got to be the answer all, be all, leader all for everybody else, but they are struggling with who to talk to. And that could be true for an entrepreneur. You know, this whole loneliness thing, no one to talk to, that sort of thing is a big deal for people. So write those down. These may be buzzwords that you're going to use in your marketing. People that are really good marketers with their emails, if you'll start reading it just for educational purposes, when you know, who's a really good marketer, when Brendan Burchard sends out an email, whatever it says in the subject line is almost always a problem that people are looking for a solution to. Now, a lot of people call these pain points. And as negative as it sounds, there's a lot of truth to it, that a lot of people will not start to seek out another, you know, supportive source until they have a pain, something hurting. You know, if my knees are hurting and I need help, I plug into the Google knees hurt. What are the solutions for knees? Nancy?
You know, I was going to say, I had a real pain point this weekend. I stayed in a crappy hotel, and I woke up, and I had my sister was in the room, and I said, you know, I have been so comfortable in my life that I have sort of just meandered away around. But I said, if I had to live in this crappy hotel, I would be so motivated to get out. And so I never want to forget how disgusting this place is. Because, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, you know, if you're trapped, whether it's a hotel, you feel trapped, your environment is not supporting you, these are all problems that you could be the solution to.
And Rachel has texted or chatted that afraid to share the pain. Technology, social media addiction, and disconnected with real human.
Right.
Not quite sure what she means by that.
If you sit behind a computer all day, you may not really. That's what I read in that. They feel disconnected from people.
Yeah.
I know I've been experiencing a little of that myself, getting used to living by myself with 2 cats and some goldfish. And I'm like, oh my God, I have only talked to people through a computer today and cats. I need to go get out. I think when we hear you back to me now. I really believe
when we hear you go, Morale,
are happy to see me. Sorry. Wow. Go ahead, Carrie.
Okay. No, I was just gonna when you meow, then we'll know that there's a real problem.
You've gone over the wall.
Meow, 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 meow.
God. You can make one of them Alan. Change cat's name to Alan and see what shows up.
All right. Well, it's good to have humor about our problems because there's a solution to all of our problems. All right, so
Okay,
that's your
looking at
home
this
play
and what-
between this class and next, is that in order for you to sell, or I do see a very distinction, there is a distinction between enrollment and selling. And I am a queen of enrollment. When you talked about Landmark, when I was at Landmark, I was the enrollment team leader for the Wisdom course.
Wow.
The Wisdom course is a 10-month program. So my assisting agreement lasted for a year. And I told the Wisdom course leader in the very beginning that I wanted it to be, my goal was that it would be the world's largest Wisdom course. I mean, even larger than New York. This is when I was in Houston. And typically in Houston, on a Wisdom course would be about 40 people. That would be a typical enrollment class. And so when Stacy and I were together, we took on 2 assignments, major assignments, volunteers, the same year we started our business, and we were writing the book. And so we used that to source us in starting the business. So by day, we're working in the business, and by night and weekends, we worked every night and every weekend on the Wisdom course. And I was the enrollment team leader, and she was the fulfillment team leader. So in other words, once I enrolled them, she kept them in. So we were, honing our skills through this volunteer assignment. And to me, the enrollment is where people became present to the possibility that that program could be for them. And then the actual closing, the sale, took place when I said Visa or MasterCard.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the sale. That's the close. If they're present to a possibility, they are ready to take the next step. And the next step is to close the sale with a payment, Visa or MasterCard. So I achieved the goal of the world's largest Wisdom course. There was 250 people enrolled in that program.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. I am.
Oh my God.
And because Stacy and I used strategic attraction. We had our strategic attraction plan. Nobody at Landmark wanted to have anything to do with our strategic attraction plan. We're like, that's okay. They don't have to. La-di-da on that. They'll see. And we just worked our strategic attraction plan, and we had 250 people, which was more than they even had in the New York program. And the people in the office at Landmark called it a fluke. And I'm like, that was no friggin' fluke, you idiots. That was strategic attraction, whether you want to get it or not. That was no fluke. And so when I completed on that assignment, I walked away and I completed on it. I did it. I did everything I said. And then when my agreement was over, I said, I will not be back to Landmark because I will be creating my own Wisdom course. And that's when and we did. We had our own programs, and we started doing the same thing we did using strategic attraction and enrollment and fulfillment. You stab them, I'll slab them. It was real simple. And that's Tracy and I were, you stab them, I'll stab them, you slab them, and we just put them in. Ching, ching.
Wow.
And been working that ever since. So you want to learn about enrollment? You're talking to the one that did the world's largest course.
Wow.
Well, that's perfect for Landmark. They are going to do it their way, and if you can show them a better way, so what?
So what?
Now I learned a lot. I learned a lot. One of the things that I learned. the wisdom course leader was Paul Theroux, who is an
Yay!
awesome guy. I learned so much from him. I'd love to sit with him one day now, because you know where I was then and who I am now is completely different.
Yeah.
But he was really
He's completely at a landmark.
he was very pivotal in my personal development. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that assignment is that I heard he was really, really the best enroller in the land. So
Oh yeah.
I learned everything I could from him.
You just wanted to be with him.
But you know what? One of the things
He led our wisdom course also.
he used to.
He led our wisdom course also.
We used to do a team meeting.
So I need.
Yeah.
I just want to say we used
There's
to do
a technical thing I want to bring in.
Okay.
Wait,
You're talking over
We
me
need
now.
to pause. Yeah, that's what I was pointing out. Is we need to pause between when we're speaking, because the technology is we end up speaking over each other, and two people can't talk at the same time.
Or can't be heard at the same time.
So we need to let the person get finished. And what we do in our men's group is we basically, when we're finished, we say I'm in, and that might be something worth trying on these calls so that we don't talk over each other.
Yeah. That was funny.
So I'm in.
Okay, thank you. So, all right. So, enough about my story about Landmark. Anne, what's your question?
Can I share a story now?
You may.
Thank you. I was at an expo this weekend, and I was talking to a friend of mine who was selling readings there, and a woman came up, and I said I basically enrolled her into taking a reading from my friend. And then after that, I had a reading with her, and she said, I'm left-brained, and so it's hard for me to not want to have steps going linear. And she said my business was going to be about popcorn style. I was going to be able to enroll people the way she witnessed me enrolling them, but it was going to be hard for me to build the business popcorn style, I guess.
What does that mean?
I know you kind of follow your heart for one thing, I guess. You follow where, I don't know for sure. It just means that I can't do one step at a time linearly. In a linear way. That's all.
Well, that's resonating with me, Anne, in that I don't have a specific, area that I want to focus on. And so the people that I've actually worked with have shown up in a popcorn style way. Yeah. It's like there's something happening. There's some other conversation, something this, something that. I haven't, so it's not like going out and doing a networking event. It's not like doing a speaking engagement. To me, those are kind of the linear situations. And and this is resonating for me. So I'm getting some clarity for myself in what I'm saying, is that even in going to Facebook or LinkedIn, that's like creating a linear program, where what you're bringing up is that it's looking for a way to be engaging in conversations in a popcorn style way, that popcorn is random, in a random way that that I can be finding out what people's problems are, that I can engage in a conversation to bring solution, to bring that solution to them. So that was valuable for me. I appreciate that insight. Thank you.
You're welcome. The other way she said it was like, if I get one perfect client, it'll be word of mouth from there. It'll be like a ripple, like you know, the stone in the water, and the water ripples out, and be word of mouth. And so I'm just hoping for that one perfect client right now. After, if I could only get clear, still working on clarity.
Well, regardless of how, if you get word of mouth, Rachel, just 1 second. Regardless of whether you get word of mouth or how people come to you, there comes a point where if you aren't willing to be ready to market yourself, you're not going to get any clients. And it's great when people come to you. Those are what I like to call free fish. If somebody comes to me, they call me, they send me an email, they want to work with me, that's a free fish, which means you're out in the boat fishing, and a boat, you've got your line in the water, but a fish just accidentally jumps in the boat. That's a free fish. I didn't do anything for it. But you can't build a business on free fish. You'll have, unless you're satisfied with living on one fish for several months when free fish aren't jumping in. So you might get a little hungry. So let's see, Rachel, you had a question or a comment?
Yeah, I just have a pretty short one for Anne. So I was watching our class video last couple of days ago, and I felt that, Anne, you are a very unique person that I think is important for you. Before you even connect to another person, you step into your being. I feel like your being is a compassion connector. I know you have struggled about the word caregiver, but I think in a way you are compassion for others. So I think if you always step in, before you go on a conversation, if you can step into a being, say, Rachel, I'm a compassion connector.
Rachel.
Oh, I'm not.
I need to interrupt you because the way you're delivering this message is complete projection. You're telling her how she is, and we don't do that on this call. You need to state. You need to state. If she surfaced something for you, then you can share about that. But we do not tell other people on here what they are. This is not we're not psychic readers. Everything you're saying is projection. If I say, well, Rachel, what I see for you is yada, 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 that's all my filter. So what we do on these calls is we surface information in ourselves that allow us to see ourselves more clearly. So I would just invite you to look back at whatever Anne surfaced for you about how you want, what did she help you to see about you? Not about, you don't want to, it's not good to try to tell other people what you think of them.
I apologize.
Not a problem.
So I think in a way I'm a compassion connector. I guess you surfaced for me. Your loving feeling that surfaced for me. I think that's it. It's just step into my being, I guess.
There you go. Woohoo! She got it. You got it. That's what.
Sorry, I think it's back to what you guys talking about, using the right words to communicate clearly. So
yes.
Now I got it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I got it.
Thank you, Jen. You always shake me. I know you are like the action shaker, Shake me. Wake up, Rachel.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're a little bit over our time, but I want to stay with us to get the marketing piece. That this exercise, that what my product is the solution for the problem. What is the problem my product is a solution for? that is a difficult conversation that we had there. And so I would invite you to start to wrap your brain around it. Because if you are trying to tell somebody else, and Rachel demonstrated that, what their problem is, they're not enrolled. They are not going to be enrolled in working with you. If I start in on
like... Could you say that again?
Yes, I will. If I try to tell... If I try to tell other people what their problem is, they are not enrolled into working with me. They're like, ew, go look in your own mirror, you know? So we may think we are, you know, so all knowledgeable because we've got so many solutions. We're solution-oriented people. We want to fix things. We want to, you know, oh, I have a cure for that. Oh, have you ever heard it? Oh, somebody, you know, oh, my elbow's hurting. And they're like, oh, I want to tell you exactly what to do for elbows hurting, you know? Well, first of all, very important thing, I really don't ever offer a solution unless somebody asks you. This is very important for coaches. Coaching is only as good as the person's ability to receive it. And never offer coaching, even if I'm the best coach in the land, and I'm the best coach in the land, and I've got lots of tools I would love to share with you. If somebody is not asking me for that, I don't share it. I just smile and nod. And now, the minute that I fall into that trap, you know, there's some people that want to lure you into coaching them. They lure you without asking for it. And they're kind of trying to get me to fall into their luring trap. And then I find myself offering coaching solutions, and I haven't been invited, and I haven't been paid, and I'm feeling icky all of a sudden. And I'm like, wait a minute, why do I feel so bad? It's because I started coaching you without an agreement for coaching. So, you know, like to your example of the woman in the car complaining, Carrie, you know, she was complaining about life. As much as you would love to jump in there, you can't. But you can say something. You could ask them, how would you like me to listen to what you're complaining about? Well, you know I'm a coach, right? Yeah. Well, I wanted to know how you want me to listen to what you're saying. Do you want me to just listen and get it? Do you want me to offer solutions? Do you want me to coach you? I need to know.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not quite sure how, you know, to be in this conversation with you. And you can say that.
And right, and we did. I mean, yeah, it's not that I jumped in to give her solutions, but it was more, well, it was basically that I gave her an opportunity to look at possibilities and then left it. And then she came back and said, okay, let's do this. And so I was able to spend 3 or 4, and she's at a point of that, you know, there was a lot of good came out of it, and she's at a point of you know, giving referrals and things like that. So yeah, I know I got that.
That's good. That's good. That's awake and aware. Where I have to watch it for myself is with girlfriends. When we get together for coffee or lunch or something, I cannot go into coaching mode. I can just, oh yeah, your relationship sucks. I got it. Yeah, I know what you mean. I do a lot of that. And then sometimes if it's a really good girlfriend, I'll just say, how long are you going to complain about that? You know, I'll get in their face. I'm like, okay, I know. I'll buy your lunch today because I got in your face so bad. I'll admit it. But anyway, so just remember, as coaches and enrollers and solution people, you got to be invited into the party before you start giving your goods. All right. Any questions before we close for today? Nance.
Well, then, okay, so after all that's been said, I rewrote my my statement, hoping that it's going to be more enrolling, and now I'm wondering if it is, based on what you said. So I put, my perfect customer doesn't know how to speak about themselves in a way that makes them proud of their accomplishments, makes them like themselves, and makes their perfect customer like them too.
Nice.
I'm reading
Does that sound like I'm trying to help them too much?
Let's see. My perfect customer doesn't know how to speak. Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
I like it.
So the question I have at this point is, what we're really focusing on is, at this point, is simply coming up with a list of the problems that we can solve, as opposed to coming up with the marketing materials that we would actually be putting out.
Yes.
To be attracting and enrolling clients to,
yes,
that we can solve their problems.
Well, yes, because from your marketing material, from this list of problems, this is where you start to craft your marketing materials, or when you're at a networking group, or when you're meeting somebody for the first time, or you're at dinner with a group and they say, you know, what do you do? You know, and you say, I help my perfect customers are people that don't know how to speak about themselves in a way that makes them really like who they are. And I help them to design their about page to reflect and help them to be more proud of their accomplishments and speak about it, rather than in some boring resume that somebody might put up on a website. People want to know who you are, and most people have a hard time talking about themselves enough to write it. And that's who I am. I work with people to help them with that. Wow. I need that. Right?
Yep, I do. Nancy.
Yeah, she's nailed it. She's nailed it. She's got everybody here is going, uh-huh. And I get to experience that on Thursday. So, any other questions? Comments, questions?
Something happening on Thursday?
What's happening Thursday? You're speaking with Nancy Thursday, or something going on with us Thursday?
Nancy is going to work with me on my about page.
Okay, it's like, wait. What?
All right. So what let me just kind of like recap where we are with our masterclass, if I can. So where we started, if in that long time ago, back in June, yes. And back at the retreat in Santa Fe, we started talking about creating our sales funnel magic. And we talked about the product pyramid, different products at different price points. And then from there, we started talking about creating our product packages. So sometimes we don't have the whole list, but we start with one and we build from there. So in the last call, we started to then look at the next step of how to speak about our packages. So last week we were working on what our product package is called, what's the catchy title of it, and then what's the attractive description, the way that I talk about it, so that people want to say, wow, how do you do that? Or I need that. Or I want that. Yeah, you're someone I definitely need to talk more with. That's how you start to elicit a response from people in your descriptions. And then today we started talking about the marketing aspect of what our product is the solution for, what problem we're a solution for. And so by knowing that, it helps us in our marketing, whether we're marketing on a one-on-one basis, in an elevator, over dinner, at a networking meeting, at church, wherever we happen to be in our communities, so that I'm familiar with how they may be listening to what I'm saying. See, if I say, hi, my name is Jan Stringer, I'm an attorney. I'm in the attorney box. Everybody knows what an attorney does. They sue people. They help people. You know, they're snakes. If I say, hi, I'm Jan Stringer, and I'm a business coach, people probably never heard of business coaches. You know, most people have these days. It's kind of getting more customary. But if I go in and I say, hi, my name is Jan Stringer, and I'm a speaker, and people go, oh, really? Like, what do you speak about? Well, I help people to attract customers to their business when they're experiencing not enough, or they need more, or they're not working with the right kind of people. These are all problems that people might be having. Like, well, I never have enough customers. Well, maybe do you have a group that I might be a speaker at, or maybe come into your company and work with you? So that, you know, you've got to find what works for you in your statement. You need to know where people are living, what they're hearing, what their world is. Let's say you live in Santa Clara. I think that's where the fires are right now in California.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, somewhere up north. Where are they?
Northern California.
In wine country.
What do you think that your package might be what's the problem they're having that you might be a solution for? Or people that just went through the flood in Houston. They don't have homes. You know, they don't have furniture. You know, their businesses were wiped out.
Yeah.
What do you think you might be what is the problem they're having that you might be a solution for? I'm not saying those are your perfect audience. But you see what I'm saying? People have problems. They don't wear a t-shirt with their problem on it.
Right.
You as a coach, are going to be listening for what they're not saying. They don't want to tell you. But if you speak their problem and they're having that problem, what do you think will happen? Ah, that girl knows where I'm living. She might be somebody I could really talk to. Like Anna Garner, y'all have met her either in person or at the retreat online or something.
Right.
She lives here in Santa Fe.
And she's the one.
She's an attorney, and her specialty is helping people whose homes are in foreclosure. So she is, you know, the problem people are having for her is that their homes are being foreclosed on, and she has a solution for that. Right?
Wow.
I mean, she's so busy she can't even come to master class anymore. She's just a hot ticket. Word of mouth spreading like crazy for her. And she's just real clear. Wow. She can help people in that situation, and hardly anybody ever says, I can help you. You might even be able to get your mortgage for free. Yeah.
She's the exception to the lawyer rule.
Yes, she is. She's one of the kind that you go, yeah, I think I could talk to her. Yeah. So that's what you want with your business. So that's where we are. We're at that place today, and the next place to go is to creating your action plans of how you're going to get your message out to who. You know, you have your strategic attraction plan of the how you want them to be with you, how you want them to look and sound, and where you might meet them, and who you have to be to attract them. And then your marketing message, once you're clear about what your product is, you're clear about the problems that people are having that use your kind of products, then just you got to get out and talk to people. How am I going to do that? Who am I going to talk to? Me and my cats talking really never produced anything except a purr. Okay?
That was perfect.
It was perfect. I got that result.
For a short while.
Unfortunately, it did not keep the lights on and the grocery coming and all of that. So that's where we are in our next two classes, which will be at the end of October. So we have October 26th and October 31st. That's a Thursday and then a Tuesday. Okay.
Incoming class.
And
okay.
so
time.
The
9
same
o'clock.
Yeah. If this is this okay?
Yeah.
I move the time, and it's fine for me either morning or afternoon. If this works for you, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
So in the last part of our master class, we're going to be talking about selling is not a bad word. It's not a bad 4-letter word. It is a good word, and there's a way to do it that feels very natural. People are never, it's just a natural next step. That's what a Zen Master of Closing Sales is. When people are present to possibility because you enrolled them, the natural next step is that they want to do business with you. Easy peasy. Really. And that's what we're working towards. So in the meantime, between next week, I'll be gone for a week. I'm going to Austin, Texas. I'm receiving a private Chinese energy treatment with Dr. Barry Morgulin. And
cool.
I'm just going to be so energized when I get back. I'll get back on the 24th. I'll see you on the 26th. And my goal for that is moving forward in a big, beautiful way. So.
I got that. I got that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I got that. Yeah.
Big love.
Big love.
Big love. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, let's
Bye, everyone.
Let's just close and say, what was the most valuable thing you got out of being here today?
So
Insights.
Insights.
So for Ava G, I got a shift in my thinking from I don't want to do this because I really want to do the t-shirts, but I can see that this fits, what I'm doing with my numerology fits in perfect with what we're doing here, and why should I not take advantage of the coaching for that instead of being off helter-skelter somewhere else.
Wow. Good.
That was big shift.
Big shift.
Ah! Big shift. Okay. Remember, Marcus, think of Marcus and me at 1 o'clock. He's a big fish. This guy's a big fish.
Good.
Okay, for me, the thing that I got is the possibility of creating a possibility for people and having a conversation with Jan to help me and bring out for me the speaking I need to speak from whence I'm coming from. It's clearing up your trash that stops you in life.
Cool. Thank you. Anybody
Well,
else?
I'm excited that I seem to have finally articulated a fun way to speak about what I do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Technical or, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Love it. I can see your delight.
And Anne?
Sweet Annie.
No, it's I've just learned a lot. I'm just taking it in and trying to put the pieces together. I like structure, so I like this structure.
I love it.
My business may not have structure, but this has structure, so one thing at a time.
Okay. All right. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. My joy to be with you today. And I'll see you on the flip side, if not before. I talked to you before, but I'll see you on this call on the 26th. All right.
Hey, have a great healing session.
Have a great healing session. Great news from everybody.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.